Well, this is Eddie McCarron, King Jock the Outlaw. Please like, share and subscribe. Today I'm going to talk about the Scottish Godfather, the original Scottish Godfather, Arthur Thompson Sr. So yeah, I'm going to do the Scotland series. Like, obviously it's just a new YouTube channel, so I'm trying to build it up. So I'm going to do the Scottish series about Scottish gangsters, and then I'll make go like American gangsters and spin that in with some like American serial killers. So if that stuff interests you, and I got another channel from Fat to Fit about my journey, like trying to keep fit and that, because I got a prosthetic leg. Like, I got a prosthetic leg, man. Big up Tupac and Biggie on the front, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so like I'm gonna be doing that. I'm gonna be doing it. Sorry. I'm gonna be doing the Scottish one, then the American one, maybe a Canadian one. Russell Williams and that, Paul Bernardo. I'm gonna do a few. So like if you're into that stuff, even the fitness, if you want to go to the fitness channel from Fat to Fit, and follow my journey from there. Like I was 19 stone at one point, you know what I mean? And from when I lost my leg and that, like I put on a ton of weight. Like I've managed to get down to 17 stone 6, I think. Like I'll show you what I'm eating and that, like what my diet is, because like I know a lot about nutrition and training, and like it's hard now trying to train with a prosthetic leg, do you know what I mean? Because I can't do squats properly, I can't do burpees, all that stuff. Like a squat thrust, what I used to do. Like yeah, so I got quite a story to tell as well. Like a lot of stories. Sometimes, like me and my two brothers, we're gonna get together and do a podcast. Like, so if people are interested in this stuff, like you need to let me know in it in the comments and that. I don't get any comments on that. Like, so yeah. So I just try build up my channels in it, man. Become the little outlaw kings. My little outlaw kings, and I like yeah, man. Build up my channels. You know what I mean? And shoot, you think, man. And it's like I've got integrity, I've got heart, man, and I've got it's all about peace, love and respect, you know what I mean? I've changed my life around for the better. Like, yeah, so I used to be into some loads of mad shit. That's how I lost my leg. Like I said, once I get to 1,000 subscribers, I'll mention it. I'll explain what happened to my leg and that, you know what I mean? But until then, sorry. Yeah, you're just gonna have to put up with me, like, with this shit. But yeah, Arthur Thompson. Yeah, I'm gonna start with Arthur Thompson Sr., born September 1931, the 13th of March 1990 till the 13th of March 1993, was a Scottish gangster who was active in Glasgow from the 1950s and took charge of organised crime in the city for over 30 years. He was the main man. Like, you know, in New York, you got 40 families, like Buffalo's, like one family in it was like he ruled over Glasgow with an iron fist. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm from. I live just on the outskirts of Glasgow, like 16 miles away from the city centre. Big up the BYD. Like, but yeah, so took charge with crime over 30 years. Born in September 1931 in the industrial area of Springburn, Glasgow, Arthur Thompson began his career as a moneylender and was said to crucify those who did not repay their debts by nailing them to the floor. Yeah, that's what he used to do. He used to, like he would nail people's hands to the floor with hammers, get hammer and nail them to the floor. Like, so people were terrified of him, you know what I mean, terrorized. And he like a gang of fucking like hardened criminals around him. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what it's like in Scotland. It's like London crazy, Chicago crazy and that, but Scotland's Scotland's nuts, like, especially for knife crime. We are big. It's not, the gun crime is big as much, but everybody got a blade, man. It's like, you see people getting jerked at all the time. Do you know what I mean? My dad, he's been slashed. He got a big scar on his face. Like, but yeah, I got my brother been stabbed. Like, I managed to escape it because I moved down here when I was like 13. But yeah, I was still involved and I got a shit. But fucking, yeah, born in the industrial area of Springburn, Glasgow. Arthur Thompson began his career as a moneylender and was said to crucify those who did not repay their debts by nailing them to the floor or doors. Protection rackets soon followed, and he was involved in bank robberies and heists for a time. Thompson then went on to invest his money in legitimate businesses, obviously with pubs, car washes and that stuff like that, and that where you can launder money in it, like cash businesses. Like, yeah, making him a very wealthy man. By the 1980s, the Thompson family, had entered the drug trade, led by Thompson's son, Arthur Jr. Like, he was called the Mars Bar Kid. Like, Artie 40, they called him. He used to go about with a kill list. And like, say, I'm gonna kill this person when he was drunk and that, and then the next day he would like say, nah, I never said that, and deny it, and like, but he was a dangerous guy, do you know what I mean? He had 2 big bodyguards over him and that, like, he used to shit gas people for nothing and that, like, he was crazy, do you know what I mean? He was fucked up, but yeah, he was a dangerous person. Like, don't let that take nothing away from it. People thought he was an idiot, and obviously because who his dad was, he was dangerous, trust me, he was a dangerous person. But yeah, by Thompson's son Arthur Jr. It was rumoured by the 1990s Thompson was earning some 100 grand a week as a loan shark. Wow. Thompson was one of the most feared criminals in Scotland in 1966. He narrowly escaped death when a bomb exploded under his mother-in-law's car in the pat. His mother-in-law was in the passenger seat. She was killed shortly afterwards. He spotted 2 men he suspected of the attack, Patrick Welsh and James Goldie. Yeah, I know who James Goldie is. Like my brother used to hang about with his son, like in Scotland. But the Patrick Welsh, got the Welsh family. I'm gonna get into them more. Do you know what I mean? They're gonna become bigger in the stories as I get along, like through my thing of different videos from the gangsters in Scotland. Do you know what I mean? Because like most of it's gonna play about Glasgow and that, like either in Glasgow or the greater Glasgow area. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, Thompson's one of the most feared criminals in Scotland in 1966. She was killed. Members of the rival Welsh family, Black Hill Gang, he forced a van off the road by driving his own car directly at it. The van hit a lamppost and both men were killed. Oh shit. Thompson was charged with the murder, but not prosecuted, as the police could not find no witnesses who would testify. In 1969, Thompson's wife Rita forced her way into the Welsh home and stabbed Patrick Welsh's widow in the chest. She was jailed for 3 years. That's what I'm saying. She's Scotland's crazy as well. That's another thing different. It's like the women up there. It's like, see, if you go to a house for a fight, yeah, it's like, yeah, get your man outside and like, yeah, straighten her, 1-on-1. Like, the woman will come down. The woman will come down for the fight. Like the man will be in there hiding and that, and the woman will come out for the fight and say, I'll fucking fight you. You know what I mean? Even good-looking women as well, you know what I mean? Like, not all of them are, but fucking, like, yeah, it's crazy, man, crazy life. But yeah, fucking, so yeah, she got 3 years. His grandchildren and great-grandchildren have to remain anonymous for the safety of the family. Thompson also survived 2 further attempts on his life. He was shot in the groin outside his home, the Ponderosa in Provenmel, named after a ranch in the Western television series Bonanza. It was a big, massive house. It was like his son lived on one side, he lived on the other. Supposedly there was a basement where you could walk through, like so you could cut through from house to house underneath it. It's that kind of gangster still. That's gangster for a gangster. pardon the pun. Like, yeah. In 1985, in 1988, Thompson suffered a broken leg after he was run over by a car and shot at again outside his home. The shooting of his son, listen to this, on 18th of August 1991, Thompson's son, often nicknamed Fat Boy, died after being shot 3 times outside the family home, the Ponderosa. A former enforcer for the Thompson family, Paul Ferris. I've done a video on Paul Ferris, so yeah, go check it out. The wee man, he was called. Wee in Scottish means small. Wee man, anybody that's not from Scotland, need to explain in case you don't know. Do you know what I mean? That's how the gang my dad was in, Parkhead Wee Man. Big up Parkhead Wee Man. Yeah. So, a former enforcer, Paul Ferris, was arrested, charged with a murder, and remanded to HM Prison Bargany, which is called the Big House, Bar L. That's the most notorious jail in Scotland. That's the main jail you go to. I ain't been there, but my brother and my dad have been there. They both been there. My other brother ain't been there, but two. My dad and my brother been there, and my cousin he been there. He said he was there about a day before. He was walking up the stairs with his dinner, and somebody reached past him and stabbed the guy up the arse. He said it was crazy. You know what I mean? They got metal detectors as soon as you walk off the wing of that. It's like metal detectors, everywhere. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's crazy, man. Right, so Paul Ferris got remanded to Bargany, right, on the day of Thompson Jr.'s funeral. Wait till you hear this. This is some mafia shit. On the day of Thompson Jr.'s funeral, a car was found containing the bodies of 2 friends of Ferris. It was his 2 best mates. And on the funeral cortege, as they were going past, they had a certain route. So you with the JFK and that, and it goes a certain route in it, do you know what I mean? So roads are closed off and whatever. Well, this route went past this car. It was an Escort on a Ryan, a Ford Gear, and the 2 bodies were sitting in the driver's seat and the passenger seat, both killed, and they was meant to be involved. So that was proper, you know what I mean? The fucking. What you call it, and Godfather, Luca Brasi sleeps with the fishes. When it's got the fish, they stick the canary in the mouth, shit like that. I would see one when he shoved firecrackers up his arse. Do you know what I mean? Because it shows you use bombs. You're not supposed to use bombs in the mafia. I see one about they wanted them. The Iceman said that they wanted them stick money in the credit card up his arse to show that he'd been stealing. That's why he got killed in it for stealing from the family. But yeah, there's ways to send messages, man, and that sent a fucking message, big time. Two bodies of the guy who's suspected of doing it. His 2 best friends are there on the funeral cortege, and they all went past it. The whole funeral procession. You know what I mean? And Glover and Hanlon, the 2 guys who were dead in the car, their family were probably at the funeral. Do you know what I mean? They probably walked past it, the women and that. Do you know what I mean? And they would have noticed his car. And boom, do you know what I mean? Paul Ferris, he was going nuts, and it said he had psoriasis from the stress and that, and obviously prison officers back in the day and that were CUNTs, see you next Tuesdays. You know what I mean? Fuck the HMP, but yeah. It used to beat us, everything, but what they done it said rub out, and they killed his 2 best mates, and what the screws done, the prison officers, is they put the paper under his door when he was in segregation, because he was in segregation because he was fucking them about. Like, so they stuck the newspaper under the door with a razor blade inside it. And yeah, and that's how he found out his two best friends were dead. Like, he was locked up in segregation in the shoe. Like, and he found out like that way. Imagine sitting in a like a 6x4 cell, like a 8x4 cell, and finding out your two best friends have been killed. Do you know what I mean? By one of the ops. Like, crazy shit, man. Like, and he said his psoriasis got so bad when he walked. Like, he was like. It was like Kellogg's Krispies coming off his skin, man. And he said his skin was just peeling off. Like, it was the stress that was making it worse. Do you know what I mean? He said it would be painful to even lie down. And like, he was going to make people pay. But you need to watch the Paul Ferris video to find out that shit. But Arthur Thompson's son was the way he was shot. It was called the Glasgow send-off, and that's like, you know, like the Glasgow kiss is when you headbutt someone, and the Glasgow smiles when you cut someone, both Joker style down both sides of the face. And that's what I mean. Glasgow's crazy, and this is called a Glasgow send-off. Like, you know, when he's sending someone off. Well, he stuck the butt of the rifle up his bum and pulled the trigger. You know what I mean? He shot him in the head first. When he was dropped on the floor, he started to butt the rifle up his butt and pulled the trigger, blew his insides out. Like, and it was just like a violation. Do you know what I mean? It was violation, like, doing that to someone. Like, and he really violated his son big time. Like Paul Ferris was. But like, he said it was someone called the Apprentice. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, and got other people involved in a gang war and that, man. I'll do videos on them and that. One of them got stabbed to death. He had like a bulletproof and stab-proof vest on. And the guy obviously knew this. So when he walked into the pub, it was like a family pub, like a carvery, like when he was eating like Sunday dinner. Like, he was watching football and rugby. It was like equivalent American football, rugby, yeah, but he was watching that, and the guy come in and stabbed him like 50 times in the genitals and in the neck and in the face and that, because he knew he had a stab-proof vest on. Do you know what I mean? But when he was at his mate's funeral, like, you could see he was a dead man walking. It even said in the book, like, he was a dead man walking, he was marked. Do you know what I mean? For all this shit, like. And I'm gonna go through it, or I'll break it down who's involved, and like, and I'll do different people, like, and it will all link up at the end, man. It's just that I'm just getting used to like editing and doing thumbnails and all that stuff. Like, so if anybody got any advice for me or that, like, leave it in the comments, and it'll be much appreciated, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, try to spread the love in it, man. We're just all meant to be in, you know, and supporting each other. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, spread the love, like, yeah, that's what we should be doing. We should all be helping each other. It's not about who can get more than who, man. Just fucking bring each other up, man. We all need to bring each other up, like, yeah. So anyway, a former enforcer of the Thompson family, like, phone containing, like, on the day of Thompson Jr.'s funeral, a car was found containing the bodies of two friends of Ferris, Bobby Glover and Joe Bananas Hanlon, who were also suspected involvement in his death, and he had been killed by gunshots to the back of the head and the anus. That's what I'm saying. The guys will send off, boom, shot him up the arse. Like, imagine a family member getting shot, but one of them getting shot up the arse, like, that's violation. You're more or less getting raped by a bullet, do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, so like, the payback, man. You can see the payback gang in fucking, like, Chicago when they done Moo Boo Crump and that, right, but this is payback, man. This is like that kind of shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, bad boys moving silence, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, The bodies had been dumped on the route of Fat Boy's funeral procession. On the route of Fat Boy's funeral procession, so that his house passed their dead bodies. That was to be further drama that day, as there was also a bomb scare at the cemetery where Thompson Jr. was due to be buried. Paul Ferris was charged with Arthur Thompson Jr.'s murder and tried in 1992, but was found not guilty and released. It was one of the longest trials in Scottish history, man. He got a not guilty. Over 300 witnesses, including Thompson Sr., who was the big Don Dada, you know what I mean, big Charlie Escobar. He pointed the finger at Paul Ferris and said he killed my son. You know what I mean? Snitched. Go out that way, man. He ended up getting bonneted over the roof of a car, innit? Over 300 witnesses, including Thompson Sr., were called to give evidence at a trial that lasted 54 days and cost $4.1 million. At the time, the longest and most expensive trial in Scottish legal history. Ferris claimed the younger Thompson had been shot by a hitman, known only as the Apprentice. He was acquitted of all charges. The Apprentice. You know what I mean? Aaron Sugar. Right? No, I didn't say that. I didn't mean that. It was a joke. But, yeah, all this stuff, by the way, it's like I should do something at the beginning, but this is for educational purposes only. Like I'm doing this for educational purposes. I'm not glorifying any of the gang stuff. I got out of that life, man, and I'm doing better and I'm doing happy, you know what I mean? I got stuck to the bullshit, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I don't glorify this, man. There's a lot of death and like the women and children are left of it, you know what I'm saying? Cause it's like Paul Ferris is out, but he done a long time in prison and that, and his brother's doing a life sentence. I'll do a video on that if you want as well, about his brother. He got a life sentence for killing someone, and then he done an armed murder when he got out. Supposedly he never done it. Yeah, I'll do a video on that if you want me to. Billy Ferris, I read his book when I was in prison, and it was funny. He's a funny guy. He's real funny. He's so funny. I'll do one on him if you want me to. Just let me know. For at the time the longest and most expensive trial in Scottish legal history, Ferris claimed the younger Thompson had been shot by a hitman known only as the Apprentice. He was acquitted of all charges. Thompson died at the Glasgow Royal Infirmary on the 13th of March 1993 from a heart attack at the age of 61. They tried to shoot him, blow him up, done everything, ran him over, shot him, and he died of a heart attack. You know what I'm saying? Crazy. I was talking to my mum about it the other day, man. Peace to my mum. And she said, that's mad how he went out like that, you know what I mean? A fuck you to all his enemies and that, you know what I'm saying? But Thompson's daughter, Margaret, died from a drug overdose in 1989. Probably the same drugs that him and his son were putting out, do you know what I mean? I wouldn't be surprised, man. Calm as a bitch. Do you know what I'm saying? And I've been on both sides of it. His other son, Billy, was stabbed and seriously wounded 400 yards from 300 meters from his family home in 2000, but survived. Billy had recently served a prison sentence for possessing a harpoon gun. He'd been given 2.5 years. We ain't got the polls, man, over there. They're there, but it ain't like Chicago and shit. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like rusty gauges and that Jordan talks about. Rusty gauge older than shoot up my dad. Well, older than your granddad. Yeah, big up Jordan McCann. Right. Yeah, possession of a gun. He'd been given 2.5 years, reduced on appeal to 18 months. Billy died on the 4th of March 2017 as a result of his drug addiction. I got told he got stabbed today. Thompson is survived by Tracy Thompson, his last remaining child. Like, so, yeah, like footnotes, like the books about it and that, yeah. The Last Godfather, The Life and Crimes of Arthur Thompson by Reg McKay, that's a good book. Like, that's a good book, man. The Last Godfather, The Life and Crimes of Arthur Thompson. So, like, so yeah, like the beef and that he had with the Welshies and that, man. There's more to that story and that goes a long way. Do you know what I'm saying? But as I said, man, I'm just getting used to editing and all that stuff. But if you like my video on that, man, just hit a like and subscribe and that, and like help me build the channel. Do you know what I'm saying? I'd really appreciate it. Peace, love, and respect to everyone. Do you know what I mean? And just like, yeah, man, peace, love out, man.